Hey guys, I've got a new to me product. It's obviously nothing new to a lot of riders. A set of earplugs. Now, what has prompted this review was the trip I made to Daytona, in which I rode for several hours at highway speeds, and it bothered me. So I thought, you know what, hearing protection is something I need to look into. So I asked around on several groups and forums and then did a lot of research. And what I found was there are two main companies producing the two real mainstream and popular sets and types of earplugs. This is the Sonic Defenders Ultra, the EP7 model from Surefire. And these are the same guys that make all the great tactical flashlights. And I have another set coming in hopefully a week or so. It still hasn't shipped. I ordered them both at the same time. This one got here in a little over a week. And the other set I have coming is from AIMExpo. Very much the same type of qualifications, but this review is going to be on these EP7. So I'm going to be trying these out, and I will let you know my first impressions here, and we'll see exactly what it does for wind noise at a couple different speeds with the visor up and down. And I'm just going to let you know everything that I encounter as I try these for the first time. Now, I ordered the size small because I know I have very small ear canals. My main problem with using any kind of earbuds or earplugs or anything, even the straight foam ones, and I've used those in industrial situations before, I'm not interested at all in using plain foam earplugs. They bother me, they don't like to stay in, and they're just dumb plugs. These have some really cool features built into them. So I ordered size small. Their other size is normal. So I'm going to go ahead and open them up here. They're a lot smaller than I thought. You know, I've watched the videos and I'm aware of how to insert them and everything like that, but I wasn't really prepared to see them this small, which is cool. I guess they just look bigger on video. Come on now. Really good packaging. Okay, so we've got one set here, one set here. Red is the right, clear is the left. Now they've got several different models. Like I said, this is the EP7. This is the top of the range for their normal earplugs, or non-industrial, non-metal embedded kinds of things. And basically the differences between them are, you can have these foam tips, which I wanted specifically because I have small ear canals and I think they're going to fit me a lot better. And it gives you a total custom fit. You squish them down with your finger, and they have a little bit of a chewing gum feel. It's not a soft packing foam. It's very gummy. So they squish, and then you stick them in your ear, and you hold it in for a few seconds, and it expands for a perfect fit every time. The other types are these normal silicone nubs. Okay, and you've seen these before. This is how pretty much any other kind of earplug is. They have a version with just two, so if you have a really short ear canal, you can get that. I think that's the EP3. And then they have several different with three nubs, and that starts at EP4. And they have them with these, what they call filters or not. I got the filtered kind because this is specifically geared really towards motorcycles or anything else in the similar situation. What this does, instead of being just a dummy plug like a solid silicone plug or a foam earplug, this has a filter in it, and it's closable. So if you want it to be a dummy plug, you can close that up and boom, you've got, you know, a total decibel knockdown. But if you leave this open and you let the filter work, what it does is it caps everything at 85 decibels. So it filters everything above 85 decibels, but lets everything below 85 decibels in. So you can still hear people talking, or you can still hear your speakers inside your helmet. You can still listen to your music and use your intercom, and that's exactly what I want. So that's cool. So I'm definitely interested in seeing how well the filters feature works. So they have versions with the 3 nubs with and without this filter. You can get it just solid if you know that's all you need. Say you're working in a factory or something like that. Obviously, this filter may not be of value to you, so you can just get it without. Otherwise, you can get this version and just snap it shut, and you have the best of both worlds. To be honest, I don't really know why they sell just the solid version, since this does both. But anyway, the EP7 is the foam type, and this is the only configuration with the foam that you can get. And you can just choose your size in most of them, small or regular. So let's see what's inside here. I would imagine there's a lanyard. Yep, and an extra pair of foam tips. They do wear out over time, and so do the silicone ones, and they sell replacements. So that's not a big deal. Looks like a little instruction sheet there, and a little chain for the case. Won't be using that, but I'll just keep this in my office somewhere for when I need those extra foam plugs. Now this is cool. You get this lanyard so that obviously you can keep it around your neck. And this will prevent it from being accidentally dropped on the ground. And I do like how that these are completely flush with the ear. So they slide into your helmet without snagging on anything. If you're using just regular old industrial earplugs like this, they stick out of your ear. My wife tried to use these. I don't remember what she had these for, but they didn't work. They did not work for her at all. They were sticking out, and they were hitting inside her helmet on her speakers, or her padding in the helmet. So don't bother trying any kind of earplugs that stick out. You have to get some that are flush in your ear and meant to be used in a helmet. And these are certainly meant to be used like that. So these have these little ball nubs here, and there are little holes up in here. You just pop them in. So that way they'll stay on your lanyard. You don't have to use it. I'll try it, see if I like it, see if there's anything weird about it. I don't know if it's going to be hitting my neck when I'm riding or whatever. Maybe these are no big deal to pop in and out and, you know, put in my glove box. I'll have to figure out how I want to store these. Maybe I'll be using this and Velcro it on the bike somewhere. Maybe I'll just put them in my pocket. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I'll be testing and actually using them over the next week extensively. Then, like I said, I'm going to be trying the other set I ordered, and I'll give those a solid week. See if there are any weird idiosyncrasies with those, and then I'll do a video comparing the two directly against each other. So you'll have my thoughts on both, and then you'll have pros and cons of both, and you'll be able to make a better decision. But you know what? These are only 25 bucks, both of them. Who freaking cares? My advice, if you're looking for earplugs, order both, see which one you like better. It's 25 bucks. You can find that in your couch. Come on, who really cares? In this case, I'm going to use whatever set I like the best, and I'm going to give the other to the wife. So she gets a free set. She doesn't really care. She's got normal ears. Nothing really bothers her. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to fit these. And by the way, if you want to see all kinds of detailed videos on how to size and fit them and all that, you can go to Surefire's website, and they've got pretty good videos. But basically, to insert it, this is what's different about the Surefire. They give you this ear lock, basically, and it locks into your outer ear. So it's not just the straight earplug. It's not being held in just by whatever nubs or foam are in your ear. You get the foam for the secure fit, but it's held in place securely in your outer ear. So I think this is going to be really comfortable for me. The Etymotics don't have this. So I'm anxious to see what the differences will be when those come in. All right, I'm going to go put these in, and we'll take a ride, and I'll give you my impressions as we go down the road.
All right, let's hit the road. Now this is the third time I'm riding with these, so I've got a real good feel for how they're performing. I've been testing a couple different little setup changes. Right now I have the lanyard off. First time I went out, I had it attached, And what I found was it was a little uncomfortable after I put the helmet on. Because what would happen is, as I slid the helmet over my head, obviously it's a nice snug fit, I had a little bit of downward pressure. It wasn't uncomfortable, but I could feel it. With the lanyard off, with them just sitting in my ears, they are just floating in there. And I can't even tell they're in my ears. With these foam units, they're obviously a nice, soft, custom every time fit. And literally, I can't tell there's anything in my ear. The first thing I notice here is I can't hear the wind at low speeds at all. It's only here at about 35, almost 40 miles an hour that I can even hear the sound of the wind. It's not what I would call wind noise. I would describe it as a sleep machine if you put it on surf, or lightly crashing waves, that kind of just gentle background noise. That's all it is. And it's very strange because right here, almost 40, I've got the windscreen down and the visor open. And what I find myself thinking is it's a strange disconnect because I can't hear the wind, but I can feel it in my eyeballs. So I want to put the visor down, but not because of the wind noise. So that's kind of strange. Now putting them in with my ears, which are kind of small, I found that it's most comfortable for me just to compress the foam real quick and just pop them straight in. I don't need to twist them into position or anything like that. Now, like I said, these are the small version. Your ears obviously may be different, especially if you have the larger version. Maybe that's a different type of fit into your outer ear, but these just pop right in. I mean, I don't remember if I said this or not before, but it's like contacts. You know, the first few times it's a little awkward, but then once you get it, it's no big deal whatsoever. And I wasn't sure about the lanyard because I was planning on, having them around my neck. But then I thought about it, I'm like, that doesn't make any difference either. I mean, I'm going to put them where I'm going to put them. I ended up just sticking them in my jacket pocket here. And that works just fine. So the lanyard, obviously useful if you're popping them in and out a lot, like if you're on a job. But for a motorcycle, I don't suggest it. Definitely not a positive thing. Now these have what they call a filter, which basically means there's a small opening. Oh man, I'm getting into some rush hour here. What the hell? It's only 3:15. Oh, school's getting out. I hate school. I forgot we're back from spring break this week. It was nice last week. There was like no traffic during the day. But anyway, what the hell was I saying? See, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, the filters. So basically, these have two modes. You can have it open, which means there's a little flap and it leaves a little opening through the center of the earplug. And what it does is everything 85 decibels and above, so anything dangerous or uncomfortable, it completely blocks out. And below that, it lets everything through but attenuates it 18 decibels, which is roughly a quarter of the volume. Every 10 decibels is half or doubling. So this is just shy of 20 decibels difference. And I have to say, that's about right. I mean, everything, I can still hear everything. It's just quieter. But the wind noise especially, because there's a lot of low frequency noise and a lot of buffeting and a lot of concussion with the wind noise, and that's completely blocked out right now. But I can still hear traffic. I can hear the cars. I can hear their exhaust. I can hear my bike. Everything about riding the bike is still there. It's just a little quieter. I hear my valve train, I hear the exhaust, I hear the transmission, I can hear the clunk. I mean, everything's there. Dude was coming over on me. Alright, gotta put my visor down. See, that was really bothering my eyes, and before I would have my visor down long before that, kind of just wasn't thinking about it. It's definitely going to take some getting used to have that disconnect in my brain between what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. It's almost like playing a video game with a fan in front of you. It's very comfortable. That goes into another subject. I am the only one I know around here that uses earplugs. I mean, in real life. I don't know any other riders that use them, so I didn't have any experience with them. Didn't have anyone suggesting to use them or anything like that. And the only reason I'm even getting into them now is because I did that trip to Daytona and then did that noise test. And primarily, I ordered these for hearing protection. But man, I have to say, it is just a huge upgrade in comfort and rideability. I mean, it's up there with the change that my custom seat made. It just makes riding so much more fun. I'm here with my windscreen down, which in Florida is a huge plus, so I can have the cooling air. But above 60, I'm always, or really even above 40, I'm usually putting the windscreen up so I get the nice silence. Now this isn't silent by any means, I can still hear the noise. I would equate the level to riding in a car with the AC on low and the windows up. So you hear the noise of the wind outside, but that's about it. I mean, it's not loud. No one would ever be bothered by this. I don't care how long you rode. It's quiet, it's soft. It's not jarring. You don't have the big changes in noise. It's just a whoosh. Pretty much like the sound of the air coming out of your AC. Now as I get faster here, I'm doing 70 now, it's a little bit louder, but mostly it's just a tone change. The slower I go, it's a lower tone wind noise, and the faster I go, it's a little bit higher pitch. Pretty much the same way that if you go from like 1 to 2 on your AC, yeah, it's minor. You notice it, but it's not any big deal. The biggest thing I notice is the way my voice sounds in my head. I feel like I'm talking really loud. I probably am. It's not only hard to hear myself, but it's, I don't know, it's like I'm wearing headphones and the phase is reversed. It's just weird. It's not like the typical put your hands over your ears and talk kind of thing. It's almost like an echo. Not a big deal, just something you have to get used to. Now as far as the isolation goes, it's really nice. There isn't a big difference between the visor up and down either. It's more of the voice in my head than the wind noise or anything. You can still hear all these cars, all the tires. Hear that truck's exhaust. So nothing is affected as far as safety goes that way. I mean, obviously it is a little quieter, but nothing is blocked out. You're going to hear horns, you're going to hear tires screeching, you're going to hear car revving up, any of that. That's still all going to be there. I'm going to get a couple lights up here where traffic picks up, and we'll do some tests around 80 so that we can directly compare that other test video I did. Obviously it's going to be subjective. I can't give you any kind of measurements as to how it sounds because I can't stick a microphone inside my ear, but I can let you know exactly what I'm feeling. Now here at just under 60, I mean, it's like I'm standing still. It's like it was before at 10 miles an hour. You know, there's just hardly anything there. I'm getting a little buffeting, but that's because I'm in traffic. And And that's always going to happen. I'm getting the wind bracing off this truck and the bus. It's shaking me around side to side. You can see the windshield shaking a bit. So I do hear that. But I'm not feeling the real concussive buffeting that I had without the earplugs. And that takes its toll. Even when I put the windscreen up and it was nice and quiet, you still had that subsonic buffeting. It really did take a toll. Alright, come on, traffic. This guy's sitting here doing slow. Just barely louder. Going from 70 to 80. Really not a big deal. I mean, it's amazingly quiet and comfortable. Not just quiet, but just so comfortable. I'm going to get past this light, put the windscreen up. We'll see what the differences are there. Tell you, with it down, I mean at lower speeds, I am really tempted to put on the stock windshield again, because having the stock windshield on in the summertime in a low position, that extra cooling air that hits all the way down to my chest is really a plus. But I love this touring windshield because it gives you the silent bubble in the up position that the stock doesn't. And that's a real plus, especially when riding 2-up or anything at highway speeds. So we'll see what the difference is between up and down. I imagine it's still going to be good enough to keep, but it's tempting because it's so nice and quiet. From the noise, it's really hard to tell how fast you're going. It was easier to tell before. I mean, I can still hear the bike RPM, but I was kind of used to judging it off the wind noise. All right, let's put the screen up. Okay, still quieter. I mean, it's still a good difference. So definitely still keeping the touring windscreen. But like I said, it's mostly a tone difference. It's not so much the volume of the wind. It's mostly the way it sounds. That's really cool because that means I can use the windscreen in whatever position I want and not have to worry about the noise. Usually, you know, riding around here, anything above 50, I'm really wanting to put the windscreen up. And then I ride with the visor open. You know what, let me do some tests with that too. Yeah, this is really about my limit here. 50 miles an hour with the visor open and the windscreen down because the wind is hitting my eyes so much. Put the screen up. Dead silent. I mean, I can hear as far as wind noise, dead silent. So same as it was before. I can still hear the engine. When I put the windscreen up, what happens is it's at the right angle, so the sound of the engine is bouncing right off of it, and it amplifies the sound of the engine itself. With it down, I hear the exhaust more, but with it up, I hear the actual valve train and the intake a lot more. That's something else I noticed. With it down and the visor closed, I hear the exhaust more than I did because these filters are blocking out the wind noise so much that I'm hearing more of the bike. So it's kind of evening itself out. That's very cool. All right. Oh, one big downside that I have to mention, and it's kind of expected. Your music and intercom really affected. Now, intercom headphone speakers in a helmet are never the loudest thing in the world to begin with. But I have the Sena 20S, which is one of the loudest, larger speaker drivers, and really very good performance if it's just played straight. However, anything above 40, you're going to strain to even hear it. You're not going to understand lyrics very well. There's no bass. Completely blocks out the bass. You hear a little bit of mid-range and treble, and that's about it. And at full volume, at lower speeds, it's quiet. It's really quiet. Intercom, same thing. The other person is going to have to talk loud and clear. And if you're at higher speeds, you're going to have issues. That's just the way it goes. So maybe your intercom can interface with these. They do allow attachment of earplug, earphone systems that can plug into the center. I don't think there's any option like that from Sena. There might be aftermarket. I don't know. I'm not planning on doing that because I hardly ever listen to music, and we don't ride that much and use the intercom that much, especially at higher speeds. It's mostly when we're at a light talking. So not a deal breaker for me by any stretch of the imagination. But just be aware. So if you do play music a lot, or if you do talk in the intercom a lot, you're going to have to look for another option, because that definitely will not work for you, especially if you have a quieter system. So that's been the review of the Surefire EP7 Ultra earplugs. Overall, extremely impressed. Stay tuned. In a week or so, I'll have a review of their direct competitor from Etymotic, and then I'm going to do a video on the pros and cons of both, so you can make up your mind if you're looking for one, or if you've never tried earplugs and you want to start, which I would definitely recommend. Like I said, even if you're not doing it for hearing protection, this is a huge upgrade for rideability and comfort and just fun. It takes that one extra thing of discomfort out of riding a motorcycle. It is really cool. And these things are all day comfortable, absolutely. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, check out the site, and we'll see you next time.